turn off the news for a little while, watch some YouTube content. Hi guys, it's Misty and welcome back to my channel. This video is my weekly what sold on eBay for the week of March 9th through the 15th, 2020. It's been rough, and I know that it's been rough for a lot of people. So I feel very, very blessed and humbled by the sales that I have made. And I know that everyone is having a hard time right now in the reselling community because of what's going on in the world right now. So I will go ahead and we're just going to talk about some of the things that I have sold. And, at this time, I'm not doing actively sourcing. I have, a stockpile of stuff that I'm working on listing. But if you want to, stay home and stay safe and be safe, it's a good time for you to clean out your closets, clean out some clutter that you've had around the house, maybe get some things listed. And, it's just the time that you can focus on things that you're wanting to get done at home. So, we all got to hang in there and support one another. So let's go ahead and I will talk to you about what I sold last week on eBay. Go ahead and start on your eBay main page when you log into your eBay account on your PC. And how I get to my Sellers Hub, if you don't already know, is I go up here to my eBay and then hit Selling, and then it brings you to your Sellers Hub, which is right here. And then what I do is I click on this button right here that says Sales. And I am looking for the week of March 9th, and they always go back a month. So you have to push this little arrow here and then click on the day that you want to start. And then I'm going to end it on the 15th. And then it will bring you to what your total sales were this week. And yeah, this is the whole week. This is pretty sad, but I mean, I'm blessed that I did what I did because it's been rough for everybody. But you can see here that if you can click on each day, it'll tell you what your gross sales were, what your total sales were, what your selling costs were, and then what your net sales were. So you can track that by your gross or your net sales, and you can do this for whatever time period you're wanting to look for. I just do it per week, and you can see my total sales were $356.97. These were my gross sales, so this is not accounting my taxes or my fees. And then my sales were down 37.3%. All right, and then let's go ahead, and I'm going to start down here with the smallest amount that I had sold. And it is this vintage 1940s quilted embroidered stitch Scotty Dog Terrier pot holder hot pad. Lots of adjectives. I had to do that because I didn't know who made this. There was no maker's mark on it. For all I know, it was a homemade piece. So using all the adjectives in my title is going to help people that are maybe looking for vintage pot holders or vintage hot pads or quilted embroidered hot pads. So it will bring up all of those keywords in your listing. This actually, this cute little thing I actually had in my one of my live sales, and I tried to sell it to y'all for $5 and nobody bought it. But that's okay, because I sold it on eBay for $10.99 and the buyer paid shipping. So, you can still buy things from me and still flip it. I'm okay with that. I do that all the time. So, that's the name of the game. So y'all should have bought this because you could have flipped it. Anyway, moving on. But, anything with a dog on it, a Scotty dog or a specific breed of a dog sometimes, you can, they do pretty well. So if you can figure out the breed, and I mean, this could have been, I think it was a Scotty dog, but I put terrier because it was some sort of a terrier dog. All right, the next item is This Works Deep Sleep Body Cocoon Shea 100 milligram, 3.3 ounce, brand new sealed lotion. This came in my FabFitFun box. I'm really on the fence about canceling my whole FabFitFun subscription because I've not been real thrilled with the stuff that I've got. And honestly, I did originally subscribe to it thinking that I can keep some of the things, I can sell some of the things that I won't use, and I'm selling more than I'm keeping. And I'm making my money back on it, and it's still fun to get the box, but the stuff that I'm selling is getting a little bit harder to sell. This was the only thing that I've sold so far from that box, and it did sell very, very quickly, and it sold for $12, free shipping. The next item is this vintage Mikuni, or Mikuni, I'm always going to say these words wrong, but it's a little tin litho wind-up toy race horse hopping, jumping, works parts. Okay, so this guy, as cute as he is, and he worked, but he was still missing a lot of pieces. He was missing his rider, he was missing his ears, he was missing his tail. So I did put parts in this because people collect these lithographed tin metal toys and they want them in working condition, and sometimes they will buy other pieces and put them in and create a working, one solid working piece. So if your item doesn't work but you think that it still has value, at least some value, if you got it cheap enough, or if it was in, like this was in an estate sale box, you know, you can still try to sell it and to make some money, because people do buy these pieces for parts if they don't work. This guy was working, but he was missing a lot of pieces. And he sold for $15, and the buyer paid $5.30 shipping. The next item is this vintage Zippo lighter. It was chrome, it had scroll work, etched double-sided. It was from Bedford, Pennsylvania, made in the USA. Lots more adjectives there. This was a Zippo lighter, which a Zippo lighter in itself is a collectible piece. They're classic. They really never go out of style. People still use them today. And you know, you have to look at markings. Some of them are marked sterling, and if they are marked sterling, then they will sell for more money. This one was not. The nice thing that this one had going for it, though, is it did have a blank monogram space, so it never was monogrammed, and sold for $16.50. You know, if you can get these cheap enough, sometimes you can get them in a lot. My dad bought these in a lot at a flea market. I want to say he paid $10 for 10 or 8 of them, or 8 of 10 of them. I don't remember, but this is the only one that I've sold from that lot. I will be listing more of them soon. And again, you know, short and sweet description. It was untested. I did not have the fluid to test it, so make sure that you put that in the listing. Sometimes people like to buy these just to kind of tinker with them too, to get them working again. But this one was untested, and you can see here in the little blurb of condition, it also says untested as well. All right, the next item is this K-mark or Cam-mark, or again, you know me, I don't ever pronounce things right, but it is this S&P vintage salt and pepper shakers in this beautiful matte blue glaze, very mid-century modern. They were SP figural, which means this one's shaped as an S and this one's shaped as a P. No chips, no cracks, no flaws. They still had their corks in them. Sold them for $16.99, and the buyer paid shipping. And again, short and sweet. Put the measurements in here, that they had the corks, and it did take a little while to sell. This next item is an item that I got. It was kind of on my list of things to look for, and I finally found it, and I found it at the Goodwill bins. And it is this Disney Parks My First Duffy teddy bear in pajamas with the hidden Mickey. And if you want to know what the hidden Mickey is, you can see here on his feet. You see that? Doesn't that look like a little Mickey Mouse head? Well, that's the hidden Mickey. And this was the My First Duffy bear. He was in his pajamas. He was 14 inches tall. It was very clean, but he did have an issue. He had a little hole in his neck. I could have fixed him, but I didn't. I just listed him because I know me, and it would take me 5 years to fix this, so I just went ahead and listed him anyway. He did take a little while to sell, but, you know, and if you think, ooh, you got that from the bins, now listen, you get things from the bins, and I washed them, okay? I took off all of his clothing, threw that in the washing machine, and I did put him, because he had his damage. If he didn't have his damage, I would have just thrown him in the washing machine too. But I didn't want all of his stuffing to come out. So I put him, it was in the summer when I bought him, I put him outside in the sun for a couple days, flipped him over, so he was already good and clean anyway, but still, just to take that extra precaution. Sometimes you can even just throw them in the dryer, because it is the heat that does work on fabrics to kill any things. And he sold for $16, and buyer paid shipping. And I did put him in a poly mailer. Put him in a plastic bag to protect him, and then shipped him in a poly mailer. Okay, this next item was, I have to give some credit to Karen at Lavender Clothesline. I'm sure you guys are all following her on YouTube, but if you are not, you should definitely follow her. She had done a video a while back, and she had mentioned that these curtain rods were kind of a bolo, that she sells them actively. And even if they're they're not new, these were a little bit more modern because of the clips. I know that the old school ones wouldn't have had the little clips here. I'm trying to point to the screen, but these little clips right here. I did buy these from the bins, and I just pulled every single one that I could find out and just put them in a little box that I had in my cart, and I wanted to give them a try. And they sold within a couple days of me listing them, and they sold for my full asking price of $18, and the buyer paid $5.30 shipping. So a lot of people will use these for a craft. They'd use them for other things besides curtain rods. But so just, look out for these. I probably paid 50 cents for all of them and sold them for $18 plus shipping. So if you're out at yard sales, or if you're able to go to the bins again someday and you find these, grab them, because they do sell, and they sell pretty fast. So thank you, Karen. The next thing is also something that I had available on my Wednesday sales, is this vintage Tom Collins mermaid glass sea life federal glass barware single glass. Again, more adjectives here. Barware is a good keyword to use on these vintage glasses, because that's kind of a keyword that collectors will look for in their searches. This one was just so cool, and I got this at Goodwill for 99 cents. And it was this really pretty mermaid with a sea life on it. No flaws, no chips. Even the paint was still bright, no faded, no scratching. Was marked Federal Glass on the bottom. Sold this single glass for $12.99, and the buyer paid $7.50 shipping. Now, this was something that was lightweight. It could have shipped first class. I did not want it to ship first class because I wanted the insurance on the priority shipping, because it's glass and it has a chance of breaking. I do wrap my things very, very well and put them, in a floating box, which means the sides never touch, or the item never touches the sides of the box. But I ship all my glassware priority. It's just that safety precaution that I use. All right, this next little guy was something for my own personal collection, because I love the little pixies, the little prixies, and he sold. It was a Shawnee elf pixie. I should probably start by telling you what it is. It's this small little 4-inch mid-century vase. He's so cute. Look at his eyelashes. I've had him for a while, and again, I've got so much of this. I'm trying to move some of the pieces out and sell them to honestly make more for new collections. But he sold for $18.95, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is something that I picked up at an auction at the end, because I stay at the end, and when everybody's gone and it's just basically me and the auctioneers left, I pick up what people don't take, because people will buy huge rows of things and they won't take it all, and then the auctioneer is kind of stuck with it, and I'm there and I'll take it. I'll look through it, and they're happy that I do. So I'm saving them a trip to the dump, and I'm rescuing these things, and then I'm selling them. So this is something that I got for free. So there's a little tip there. Stick around if you can to the end of the auction, and you can get the stuff that people aren't taking. Sold this for $24.23. I did do free shipping on it. I got it for free. So, it shipped first class. The cool thing about this is that it was from 1977, and it was never opened. It was still sealed in the plastic. So very, very cool piece. It did take a little while to sell, but it was free, and I sold it for $24.23. Okay, the next item is this antique ornate metal doorknob faceplates. There was 2 of them, matching keyholes, very Art Deco, more Art Nouveau though than Art Deco, but I did sell them within a day of listing them. I have a lot of vintage hardware that I am going to be putting on eBay. I have a couple pieces listed now. These were exceptionally beautiful. I think I have a couple more, not exactly like this, but similar, that I need to get listed. These were not brass. They look brass, but they are not. They are metal. And how you can tell is if an item is brass, a magnet will not stick to it. a magnet stuck to these. So they were metal. So they were brass looking. I did not want to put that they were brass in the title because they are not brass. Even though they look like they are brass, they are not brass. So that's one way that you can tell if a piece of hardware or, you know, a piece in general is brass or not. If a metal sticks to it, it's not brass. And I put the measurements in here. It has a great patina on it, and they sold within a day of me listing them for $25.50. And the buyer did pay shipping too, so I'm not sure why that's not showing up, but they did pay shipping. They did ship first class. The next item is this vintage Holt Howard Cozy Kitten Butter Dish server, rare, mid-century modern MCM kitchen. So this was something from my own personal collection, and I love my Holt Howard. I have a lot of it, and I am just kind of thinning out some of it to make room for new collections that I have. I am keeping some of it, but not all of it. And this was one piece that is a very rare piece. However, it does have issues, as you can see here in the pictures. There was a lot of chipping. There was a lot of, I guess I have to click on this picture, a lot of chipping around here, a lot of crazing, some discoloration. Was not in perfect condition, to say the least. But it is a rare piece. You can see the bottom here was very discolored. It was a very, very rare piece, and I sold it for $45, and the buyer paid shipping. This Holt Howard stuff is highly, highly, highly collectible. Let me see if I have, you can see, yeah, here. This one actually is dated and has the Holt Howard signature on it, 1958 Holt Howard. Sometimes they will just have an HH next to it and it won't spell out Holt Howard. And when you get to looking at these, you kind of, you know, if it's not the Cozy Kittens or if it's not, you know, a noted Holt Howard design, you kind of get the feeling that something is Holt Howard. He did a lot of like trees and other figural pieces that maybe are not marked at all, but you can still kind of tell just by his artwork who it was made by. Okay, look, I sold a pair of shoes. It's been a long time since I sold a pair of shoes, but I did finally sell these Stuart Weitzman black wedge heel shoes. I did put the adjectives of business, professional, Spain, because that's where they were made, and they were size 6.5, which is a small size. I did buy these at Goodwill for $4.50 and sold them for $45.60, and the buyer paid shipping. This last item is really kind of surprised me. It sold very, very quickly. Now, Indiana, which is where I live, has a magical place in southern Indiana called French Lick and West Baden Springs. It is home of a casino and a beautiful, beautiful hotel that has been completely restored. These are antique postcards. And I did put Pluto water because, let me zoom in on here. There is a postcard. This is a French Lick, which is now a casino. This is the beautiful West Baden and the gardens there. And this, ooh, no, that's all. I think it's the next one. Well, which one was it? Let me find it here. One of these postcards, I believe is it this one? Yes, the home of Pluto water. There are a lot of people who collect Pluto water memorabilia. There was a Pluto water bottling plant in French Lick or West Baden. I don't know. They're kind of sister cities. They kind of intertwine with one another. But people highly collect this Pluto water memorabilia. So I wanted to make sure that I put that in the title because of that collector's market there. And I know that the museum at both French Lick and West Baden, they actively buy things to display in the museum as well. I actually had these for sale in the shop for $2 a piece, and they never sold. And I thought that they would because they're a local piece, but they didn't. And I picked these up at an auction and I bought them, this and a whole truckload of other things for about $45, $50. And I sold these postcards alone for $42.50. There is a market in postcards depending on the subject matter, depending on the condition. So if you are out and about, just take a little bit of time, or if you have a stack of postcards sitting next to you that you picked up, look through them. research them. If you can sell them in a lot, you're going to do better. You're going to get more money, more bang for your buck at one time. If you have postcards that are from the same area, lot them together. And you'll be surprised at what postcards can bring you. Yes, they take a lot of time to research, a lot of time to look up comps for, a lot of time to sort through, but we've got time now, right? We've got time now to sit through and go through all those postcards. So maybe do that. I have postcards that I'm probably going to do that myself. Sit through and maybe lot some together that are in the same regions and see how they do. So this just goes to show you that postcards can make, you can make money from postcards. And just give it a try. So, I sold some things, and that's good. And I've been listing a lot. I think I have listed probably close to 40, 45 items the last couple days, which is what you should do. Just, you got to keep your mind, turn off the news for a little while, watch some YouTube content, because we do appreciate that. Watch, your favorite YouTube channels, maybe discover some new YouTube channels, turn off the news for a little while and get your mind off of things. That's what I do, and I suggest that you do that too. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the numbers. My sales this week were $356.97. Now that's my gross sales for the entire week. That doesn't take out my taxes or my fees. So that's not a great number when you do this full time. My sales were down 37.3%, which is low, but that means my sales have been down since last week too. I have a feeling until everybody kind of gets a grasp of what's going on in the world that people are a little scared to be buying things. So, you just got to stick with it and take that time to list some inventory that you have laying around. Like I said, clean out some closets, clean out a shelf, list some things that, and I've said this before, I do this all the time. I'll look at something, I'm like, I'm sick of looking at that. I'm going to list it on eBay. Still go ahead and list. People are still buying things, but it does keep your mind off of, other things as well. So don't stop listing. If you get anything from this video, make sure that it's that. Don't stop listing. Keep listing. You just got to keep listing, keep your mind off things, be positive, and we will get through this. We always do. And I'll still keep making some content. I am working on a few videos at the shop because, I own an antique store and I'm in transition and moving my reselling space there and just cleaning out some things. So that's keeping me busy. And I will be putting out some videos there. I'm going to be filming videos with Dad. He's very, very bored right now. He can't go out and go junking either. So, we're going to do our part to keep you entertained the best that we can. So with that, I am going to go ahead and say goodbye. I hope that you give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you do and hit the little bell notification and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say bye, guys. Be safe out there.